blue corner, representing Ukraine. და მისი მოწინააღმდეგე ლურჯ კუთხეში უკრაინის წარმომადგენელი სოფია ტურბინინა.
Referee W46kg, Belarus, judges Israel, Latvia, Azerbaijan, Czech Republic, and Montenegro.
მოგესალმებით, თბილისში მიმდინარეობს იუნიორთა შორის ევროპის ჩემპიონატი კრივში. თქვენ ახლა პირველ ფინალურ დაპირისპირების წინა კადრებს ადევნებთ თვალს. რუსი და უკრაინელი სპორტსმენები დაუპირისპირდებიან ერთმანეთს 44-46 კილოგრამ წონით კატეგორიაში. რუსი ანასტასია აკუნოვა, სოფია ტურბინინას უკრაინელის წინააღმდეგ. ჩვენთან ერთად არის ბაკურ გოგოჭური, საქართველოს კრივის ფედერაციის ვიცე-პრეზიდენტი, რომელთან
really gee up all of the fighters throughout today.
Absolutely, it looks fantastic. There's prize money on offer as well, 4,000 if you win. Gold, 2,000 for silver, 1,000 apiece for the bronze medalists. And the kind of glitz and glamour that they've put into these events, AIBA, since the start of the year, since the new president took over, it's very, very noticeable. There's the star treatment is what they're getting here from a young age, and it makes a difference. It makes a difference when they're making that ring walk. They'll be nervous, of course. That's AKHUNOVA there. But they are experienced. It's amazing how much experience you can gather by the age of 15 or 16. Everybody boxing in this competition is in that age bracket. And this competition's been going for a while. It used to be called the Cadets, was renamed as the Juniors in 2008. 2018, I think, was the first time that male and female fighters competed in the same competition. That took it to a new level, really. And it's been a very good standard all the way through so far, as you would expect, and no great surprise that Russia and Ukraine are heavily represented in these finals. And it's always a very keenly fought contest, shall we say, when these two nations come together. And they're being made to wait a little bit here, which will just exacerbate that nervous tension to a degree. These two both boxed well in the semi-finals. They were both in my ring. I saw the pair of them, and from what I saw that day, they seemed fairly evenly matched to me. Just a few things going on down at ringside. The technical delegate just having a quick word with somebody. They've got to make sure that everybody is ready to go. 5 scoring judges ringside, remember, as always, using the 10-point must. You can score it 10-9, 10-8, 10-7. And it's about interpreting dominance. A knockdown doesn't necessarily result in a 10-8 like pro boxing. It's a different kind of system, a better system, I generally tend to think. So here we go. AKHUNOVA in the red, Turbinina in the blue. Both of these two boxing out of the southpaw stance. When I saw AKHUNOVA previously, she was more of a counter puncher. Turbinina was slightly more of a front foot fighter, but they're kind of mirroring each other at the minute. Right hand there thrown by Turbinina was a decent shot early on. Just throwing a little feint there with her front foot, the fighter in blue, then steps out a little bit wider with that front foot and throws her left hand straight down the middle. Just short with the 1-2 there, AKHUNOVA. The left hand gets through from Ukraine again, followed by a right. Turbinina probably just made the slightly livelier start here, would you say?
Certainly, AKHUNOVA is, and we mentioned before the bout began, that she excelled with her counter punches, and she seems to just be more patient and allowing her opponent to make the early commitment and then try and counter that in this first round so far.
So into the second minute of it. Just slightly more up on her toes, Turbinina, as compared to AKHUNOVA, and it's that greater movement that I think saw her land a few decent shots in the early stages. As you say, AKHUNOVA just needs to stay patient here. She punches off a slightly more solid base. There's not quite as much going on with her, if you like, and she just needs to stay confident that she can pick her opponent off on the way in. She does come in quite wide with that right hand a lot of the time, Turbinina. She can tend to be a little bit open. These 2-minute rounds, though, do really slip by. Jab to the midriff there from Turbinina, which is a very underrated punch a lot of the time. Left hand there, though, from AKHUNOVA, but immediately got one back from Turbinina, who was kind of jumped on her a little bit in this opening round. And we'll wait and see what the scores say, but the fighter in blue was definitely busier. He certainly threw more, and I think probably got through with more as well.
Certainly the aggressor, Turbinina, in that opening round. It was interesting, though, every time they clenched up, AKHUNOVA, as soon as they stepped away from each other, was more than happy just to quickly throw in a left or a right whenever she could and just try and catch her opponent off guard a couple of times. But I imagine the aggression from the Ukrainian might just edge that opening round slightly. It was very strong and very stable from the Russian, though.
Nice and cool inside the arena. Perfect conditions, actually, for fighters, really. It's a huge space, this, a big vaulted ceiling. As I said, we're in the volleyball centre. It's split into 2 enormous rooms. Just off behind us is what is a vast, vast warm-up area it's been serving as. Well, we didn't get a look at the scores at the end of that opening round. Maybe we'll catch up with them at the end of the second. We'll bring them to you if we do get a look. And early stages here, just a little bit scrappy. Again, Turbinina, she's not a particularly easy fighter to read. She's got that kind of jerky style, and over the course of a 6-minute bout, you have to make those adjustments quickly. And AKHUNOVA at the moment, in that opening round, I think has just struggled a little bit to get to grips with that. She's got to try and find an answer in round 2, if indeed she did drop that first round, which by our reckoning she did. But as I say, we didn't see the score. Short right hand there from AKHUNOVA, but then she gets crowded for space. Turbinina gets on top of her. The referee just having a quick word with both of them about holding. Referees are often quite quick to take points in AIBA bouts. Those of you who watch this regularly will know that you don't have to do a lot wrong for them to take a point. And the referee again just having a word there about holding around the back of the head. So into the second minute of round 2, and it's been more of the same, really.
Very similar to that opening round. Again, the Russians being patient a lot of the time. She did as well before that right hand that connected that you mentioned. Have a couple of neat 1-2s with a right then a left as well. But it's nothing to really put off Turbinina so far. And she's still going about her business. And I love the head movement as well. She's trying to make herself as difficult a target as possible for the Russian to aim at.
So into the final 30 seconds. Nice right hand there. Just caught AKHUNOVA on her way in.
See again when they step away, AKHUNOVA's quick to throw something just to keep her opponent off guard.
That was a decent 1-2 from the Russian. She got a good distance there. That's been difficult for her so far, as it's indicated just here. Turbinina just shutting down that space, making it messy on the inside. So bell goes the end of the second. I'll just glance over towards the big screen away to my right-hand side. I'm not sure if we're going to get the scores come up on the screen for us. But the first round was split scoring in favour of Turbinina. The second round, all 5 judges have gone for AKHUNOVA. So we've got AKHUNOVA with a 20-18 lead on 2 cards. The other 3 are poised at 19 apiece. So simply speaking, going into this third and final round, AKHUNOVA needs to convert one of those drawn cards into a win, and she will take it. Turbinina needs to convert all 3 of those 19-19s into a win, and in that instance then she will emerge the winner. The scoring of that first round there, split scoring in favour of Turbinina, but a unanimous decision in favour of AKHUNOVA in that second round. It was a tight round, that second round. The Russian definitely did get to Turbinina a little bit more. I think Turbinina may be slightly unfortunate not to get something on the cards, but she's still in this.
Just cleaner as well, the connections that the Russian made with her opponent when she did connect, far cleaner than we saw in the first round, which again I think has just given the judges a bit more of favour to the fighter in red.
So that's the equation. AKHUNOVA is in the driving seat here with regard to the scores, and she's just looking to try and well, just try and get on top of Turbinina and bully her a bit physically in this third and final round. You could see it there, just pushing her into the ropes and then looking to try and just club really with that right hand. And that is what she's got to do, because Turbinina will try and tie her up on the inside, as she did again there. And when that happens, AKHUNOVA's decided that she's just not having it. She's going to disentangle herself by whatever means possible and let her hands go. Turbinina just trapping her forearm, AKHUNOVA's forearm, on the blind side of the referee. Midway point of round 3. AKHUNOVA has just managed to back up a little bit. I think that's been the key for her. Just take that slight half step back, open up that distance, because she's got the longer reach on her. That was a nice combination there, though, from Turbinina. She needs to keep those hands moving. That kind of blizzard of activity. She's got to put her foot to the floor in this final 40 seconds, because she needs to win this final round. Decent 1-2 there from AKHUNOVA.
Those sorts of quality connections for the Ukrainian, just too infrequent though in this third and final round, you feel, at the moment. She hasn't really been given many opportunities to make clean contact with her opponent.
Just looking for the backhand there, AKHUNOVA. The southpaw left hand didn't quite manage to land it. Turbinina just slipped it, and it went flying over her shoulder into the final few seconds. So we know the scenario here. AKHUNOVA has got 2 of those cards basically in her pocket. She was 20 points to 18 up through 2 rounds, and Turbinina just looking to try and spoil a little bit on the inside. So she's got it with those 2 judges, even if she's lost this final round, because there were no 10-8s in that final round. There's no possibility of that. The other 3 cards were poised at 19 apiece, so Turbinina needs to have won all of them. Close round, maybe could go either way, but it's difficult to see all 3 of those drawn cards going the way of the blue corner, which is what Turbinina needs. So you would expect that AKHUNOVA is going to get this.
Yeah, and I think on the balance of it, you would say that the Russian AKHUNOVA has deserved it. That second round in particular, there was just an air of quality in the punches she threw, and as I say, the connections she made on Turbinina. They look ready down in the ring to make the decision.
Is the boxer from red corner, Anastassia AKHUNOVA, Russia.
So AKHUNOVA gets it. AKHUNOVA gets it by unanimous decision. So the judges will have gone her way in that final round. It will result in 2 scores of 30 points to 27 and 3 scores of 29 points to 12.